All right, all praise, glory, and honor is most certainly due to the Most High Elohim of the patriarchs Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I want to say peace to each and every one of you in the name of His Son, Yahushua Mashiach, who we know as Jesus the Christ. It's always a blessing each and every single time that I can come before and bring a message contained in His Word. I never counted as a light thing to do so. In today's message, I want to deal with a very important aspect of the Bible. You know, you lot of today and throughout the ages, you've had a lot of people who are claiming to be the quote unquote one, the one that everybody should believe in. I always tell a story. I remember one time years ago, this is a long time ago, I was in a gym and I was talking to another guy in there, just having basic conversation. Me and one of my best friend at the time that came in, and this guy we were talking to, he said, man, you know, at one time, some kind of way the situation or the conversation got into religion. And he said, you know, I thought I was the one. And I said, one what? You know, like what? He said he thought he was the Messiah. And I'm like, you can't even bitch 315. How you the Messiah? No, I didn't say that. But I'm thinking in my head, man, people are easily deceived and even can deceive themselves. The question people need to ask and answer is, how do you know somebody is the Messiah? You have people today. It's one man. He came from Indiana. He talking about he's the Messiah, right? A lot of people go. You had some people follow a man to Demona. They were calling him the Messiah. You know, a lot of people throughout the ages have made that statement, and many people have followed them. But if they understood what the Bible says, they wouldn't they wouldn't go for that. So how do you know who the Messiah is? Well, let's find out. Let's go to John, the first chapter. Yeah, I was in there. He was saying he was the Messiah. I wasn't expecting that. He said I thought I was the one. I was like, well, I'm thinking one what? This is John, the gospel according to John. Notice what it says here in verse 45. It says, Philip finding Nathanael and said unto him, we have found him. Now, they didn't just say we found him. We think he's the one just because. It says, we have found him of whom Moses and the law and the prophets did write, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. See, the prophets tell you who he is. That's how you know. That's why you read in 2 Peter where he talked about we have a more sure word of prophecy. Okay, so the prophets tell you who he is. So let's find out, because when we find out what the prophets say about him, we'll understand this disqualifies a number of people who claim to be the Messiah or the chosen one, the anointed one. This is Genesis, the 49th chapter. Now, this is the prophetic blessing that Israel, whose name originally was Jacob, gave unto his 12 sons. Now, notice what he said about Judah. This is Genesis, the 49th chapter. It says, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come. And unto him shall the gathering of the people be. So now, what is that saying? The one that is to rule is coming out of Judah. So he's coming out of the specific tribe of Judah. Okay. So that's number one. People talk about what is a Jew today. That's been obscured because the people that are in the land today are not the chosen. Because think about it, there are 12 tribes. Why are you only talking about one? Because they're converts. Okay. But now we understand that the chosen is coming out of Judah. Let's find out some other things that the prophets had to say. We'll pick it up in the book of Isaiah. Isaiah, the 7th chapter. Isaiah 7, and we'll pick it up at verse 14. Isaiah 7 and verse 14. Notice what it says about this one that's coming out of Judah. It says, therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son and shall call his name Emmanuel. So now, if his name, or rather, if he's born of a virgin, that means that could only be talking about one, right? See, your mother, all the men that talking about they the chosen, their mother wasn't a virgin when she had it. No, your mother, she got pregnant the old-fashioned way. There was a man involved, but not with this one. So what do we find out? He's gonna come from the tribe of Judah. See, it can't be it's a man right now. He deceiving all kinds of people. Have a following. They wear all the beanies. Seem like they were all black, and they wear the beanies. Look like they need to be skateboarding somewhere. He say he the Messiah. He everything. He the fulfillment of what the the Muslims say, he the fulfillment of what the Christians say. He talking recklessly. But the reality is, you just a guy with a beanie. Okay, you from Indiana, and you not of the chosen. You not from the tribe of Judah. Your mama wasn't a virgin. Okay, behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel, which means El, or God with us. Let's go further. So what else do we find out about this one? See, that's what. So if you know what the scriptures say, you can't be deceived. Micah, the 5th chapter, Micah 5 and verse 2. What is it? What does the prophet Micah tell us? But thou Bethlehem Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be ruler in Israel, whose goings forth have been from of old, from everlasting. So just like we read in Genesis, the 49th chapter, the one Shiloh, to whom it is or to whom it belongs, he's coming out of Judah. So he's going to be of the tribe of Judah. He's going to be born of a virgin, and he's going to be born not in Goshen, Indiana, right? He not St. Louis somewhere. It says Bethlehem. He has to be born in Bethlehem, not Chicago, right? So now, again, he's from the tribe of Judah. He's born of a virgin, and he's born in Bethlehem. Let's go a little further. Let's pick it up at Isaiah. See, these are things you can't control. What? Your birth, how you're born. Isaiah the 7th chapter, or not Isaiah, but let's pick it up at Psalms, the 41st chapter. Let's find out something else about him. See, when you look at what the scriptures have to say, you understand who the Messiah is. This is Psalms 41 and verse 1. Notice what David wrote. He said in verse 9, yea, mine own familiar friend, in whom I trusted, which did eat of my bread, he hath lifted up his heel against me. What is that talking about? That's talking about betrayal by a familiar friend. So wait, whoever this is going to be betrayed by a familiar friend. That's interesting. Who was that? We know that Christ was betrayed by who? By Judas. Okay. See, so now, and that betrayal led to his what? Crucifixion. Well, what happened here? Let's see what the prophet, because David was a prophet as well as being a king. Let's see what he said. This is Psalms 22. Psalms 22. So what do we find? He's from the tribe of Judah. He's born of a virgin. He's born in Bethlehem. He's betrayed by his friend. Psalm 22. Let's go further. What does it say here? David wrote, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Which is Ele, Ele, lama sabachthani. He said, why art thou so far from helping me and from the words of my roaring? So he's going to describe what is happening to Christ while he's being crucified. He says in verse 14, I am poured out like water, and all my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax, it is melted in the midst of my bowels. My strength is dried up like a potsherd, and my tongue cleaveth to my jaws, and thou hast brought me into the dust of death. Notice what he says here. For dogs have compassed me. The assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierced my hands and my feet. David didn't have his hands and his feet pierced. David died of his old age. But no, there was one that came and died on the cross. That was Christ. Okay. So now what do we have here? Just going back. One, he's he's coming from the tribe of Judah, born of a virgin, born in Bethlehem. He's betrayed. He's crucified. You get the picture. Let's go to Isaiah the 53rd chapter. Let's keep it, because what did the prophets have to say about this one? Isaiah the 53rd chapter. Isaiah 53, and we'll pick it up at verse 9. So when he died, how did that happen? It says in verse 9, and he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death. Wait a minute. Who is that? That's Christ again. He died between two malefactors, between two thieves, and it says he made his grave with the rich in his death. Okay, made his grave with the wicked and with the rich, because he was put in a rich man's tomb, Joseph of Arimathea. You see who's fitting this prophecy? And why was he crucified? Verse 6, all we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and the Lord have laid on him the iniquity of us all. See, you need to know the one who died for your sins. See, this man with the beanie on and all these other false prophets that have come throughout time, and even in these days at this very hour, that are lying about who they are, they can't die for you. Because first of all, they are all sinners. All have sinned come short of the glory of God. You know who didn't? Christ. So you need to find out who that is. So again, what do we find out here? What do the prophets have to say? We can go on and on and on. But he's coming from the tribe of Judah, born of a virgin, born in Bethlehem, betrayed by his friend, crucified, and he made his grave with the wicked, meaning he died between two malefactors, between two thieves, and with the rich in his death, he was put in a rich man's tomb. But did he stay there? Let's go to Psalm 16. See, if you know the scriptures, you know who is the Messiah and who is not. Psalms the 16th chapter. What does he say here? In verse 10, he says, "For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption." What is that talking about? Because, as he said, they asked, well, we would see a sign from thee. He said, and even an adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, the sign of the prophet Jonas. For as Jonas was in the whale's belly for 3 days and 3 nights, so shall the Son of Man be in the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. He came and died on the Passover, which came on a Wednesday that year, and was resurrected on the Shabbat or the Sabbath. And that's why it says, For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell. That's the grave. Neither wilt thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption. His body didn't corrupt because it was only there for 3 days and 3 nights. So again, what do we have here? We have one that was coming out of Judah. First of all, he's an Israelite coming out of Judah. Even you read in Deuteronomy 18, I believe in 15, where he said, what Moses said, a prophet like unto me, him shall ye hear of thy brethren, because in their lives, likened unto me, their lives parallel. Okay. If you ever examine the life of Christ and compare it to the life of Moshe, you see Moses, they parallel. But he's coming out of Judah, born of a virgin, born in Bethlehem, right? Betrayed by his familiar friend, crucified, right? What else do we read? He's put in he dies between two thieves, made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death. He's put in a rich man's tomb, but he's resurrected. Like it says here, "For thou wilt not leave thy soul in hell, my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption." Luke the 24th chapter. So when he came in the flesh, died and was resurrected, he appeared before his disciples, right? Because he wasn't left in here. He wasn't left in the grave. He was resurrected. And what does it say here? This is Luke the 24th chapter, verse 24. So now he engages some of his disciples, and they don't recognize him, and they don't know what's going on. They said, "Man, we thought he was the one." But if you really knew the scriptures, you would know he was the one. He had to tell them that. I'm in Luke 24 and 24. It says, "And certain of them which were with us went to the sepulchre and found it even so as the women had said, but him they saw not." So now they heard that, some said that he was alive, and they trying to figure it out. And what did he tell them? Verse 25. "Then he said unto them, O fools and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken." See, the prophets told you what was going to happen. That's how you know who he is. And that's how you know what happened to him when he came. It said, "Ought not Christ to have suffered these things and to enter into his glory? And beginning at Moses and all the prophets, he expounded unto them in all the scriptures the things concerning himself." He came in the volume of the book. So if you want to know, or how do you know who the Messiah is, you go to the scriptures. The scriptures tell you, so you're not deceived. And with that, brothers and sisters, it's always my prayer that you will edify.